All right, so we're going to talk about setting appointments today. Continuing with the theme of doing this on a weekly basis, guys. Shaq really wants us to make that adjustment within our hierarchy to constantly be focusing on setting appointments. So today, I'm super excited. We have a superstar on the training today on Jen's team. She's going to be going through a lot of great information with us. But I'm just going to start us off here and just talk about some of the mentality and mindset things about setting appointments. And then we will go ahead and transition into the technical side of things, the do's and the don'ts, after we do go through a quick interview with the stud. So obviously, there is a major importance of setting appointments. Setting appointments is one of the most important skills you're going to learn in the business. And for various reasons, mainly because of money, which I'm going to get to in a second. But if you aren't able to set appointments, your business will stagnate. That is literally our entire business is all about setting appointments and getting on appointments. The reason why we recruit is to set appointments and get on appointments. So we always have to be really good at doing this and focus on it. And so when you guys think about it, setting appointments and getting on appointments, it brings a lot of value, right? When you think about the clients that we sit down with, it brings a lot of value to them. We see kind of the situations that these families are in, the lack of financial literacy that people have, just the differences that we can make in people's lives just by providing simple financial education. So that's huge. The value and the satisfaction that you can have for providing that education to people is amazing. Then number two, excitement. When you go on appointments, like I had an amazing appointment last night. We didn't get a sale or anything, but it was just awesome talking to the family and the type of client. They were like upper, like higher class, wealthy, pretty affluent, and it was just awesome being on the appointment because they were great. They were having fun. It was good to talk to. They want to introduce us in the trainee to a lot of people. And so when you get on appointments and you have a good time and people enjoy it and they like what we do and they believe in it, then they want to give you referrals. And that doesn't just create excitement in you doing the appointment, it also creates excitement for the recruit as well, because then they can start seeing that, hey, these appointments will continue to go and people enjoy it, right? Sometimes we get on appointments and they're not the best appointment. And then people feel that every single appointment is going to be that way. It's not. A lot of people enjoy the presentation that we do. It's polished, it's professional. We ask good questions. So it's really cool to get on appointments like that. The next thing is partnership. So people can look at this in two different ways. Partnership, like with your spouse. Obviously, if you get on appointments and you're in a partnership with either with a spouse, a sister, brother, business partner, whoever it is, obviously you build a relationship there. But when I look at partnership, I'm thinking about creating a partnership with my teammates, right? They are all your business. Everybody that's on your team is your partner in business. And when you go on appointments with new teammates, you and your recruits, you create that camaraderie, you create that relationship. Shaq a couple of weeks ago did a training on building relationships, like through the Zoom way of doing things now. Building relationships becomes extremely important to keep people around. And when you're on appointments with your teammates, that partnership and camaraderie and relationship that you build with them continues to grow. So that's important. But then obviously the reason why a majority of us came here in this business is to either make great part-time income or build an amazing business here with passive income, residual income, become financially independent, and to make money. And so an analogy that I always keep in my mind, and I'm pretty sure Samir was the one who said this, but he was like, when you think about it, if you have a business and you don't have anybody coming in, you're closed for business. You think about a 7-Eleven. If nobody comes into their store that entire week, they were closed for business that week. So you gotta like focus on your on setting appointments weekly, because if you have no appointments, there's no clients coming in. If we have no clients coming in, there's absolutely no way to make money here. So we have to focus on that and get better. So when it comes down to setting appointments, though, it's one of the most one of the parts of the business where the recruits get the most nervous. And I say recruits, like new recruits, it's not just new recruits, it's everybody. Everybody gets nervous to pick up the phone and call somebody, whoever it is. It could be somebody like myself. Sometimes I get nervous. We started doing emergency contact a little bit more. I was like, oh my God, I haven't done this in a while. And I was nervous making the call. So picking up that phone, like they have that analogy saying, hey, the phone is like 1,000 pounds. People don't want to pick it up, right? Sometimes I'll just be like, oh, let me just figure out a way to text. Maybe I don't want to get on the phone instead, right? But when you look at it, it's very nerve wracking. And so that nervousness starts to die down. Obviously, the more that you do it, but confidence comes with competence. If you start to master your skills on how to set appointments, what to say, how to overcome objections, all of those different things, you're going to have a lot more confidence. Like when I'm making a recruiting phone call, I literally have no woes, no issues, no problems, because I do that so much and so often. Obviously, we all have to make a little adjustments in our business, but it needs to be that way with setting appointments as well, right? And I feel that in our team, we're good at prospecting on those different areas, but also we need to create that competence through confidence with setting appointments as well. And I think the shift throughout the hierarchy for everybody is going to get people on track with that, especially because we're doing a training every single week from the various leaders on setting appointments, but then also having these appointment setting blitzes as a team to keep people together. I think one of the good things too, when you're learning how to set appointments or getting on the phone, just think about it. You just got to break the ice. A lot of times when you're talking to people and setting the appointment up, it's not really always somebody like that you don't know. A lot of times it's somebody that you do know, or you kind of know, or you just know their name a little bit. You may have met them and you're trying to reach out. So you just want to be simple when you're talking, and people will help. Not all people are bad. Not all people are mean. A majority of people want to help somebody, right? But we always have to realize, as much as people want to help us, they are busy. They have lives too, right? And so we can't get mad if somebody says, oh man, I'm so busy, I don't think I can meet with you. Sometimes it's really true, but you still can ask. Always ask. If you need to follow up with somebody, follow up. Like some clients, they're like, oh man, I really want to meet. I think that this would be great, but I can't meet for the next 3 weeks. Okay, well, you can't really do much about that sometimes. Sometimes you have to just be like, okay, great, but you have to have an awesome follow-up system. Don't forget about that person, right? Sometimes people say they can't meet now, and then that person's name just disappears from your mind. No, keep track of it. I know some people I set reminders in my calendar. Some people put reminders on their phone to touch base with people. Some people have a really expansive follow-up system through Excel sheets and all that stuff. I kind of have that, but when you think about it, you got to reach back out to people. They want to help you, but sometimes they really are busy, right? So that's important to keep in mind. Now, when you look at it, the reason why, in addition to all the things I just talked about, the reason why you want to get on appointments is it's the best way for your trainee to understand the business. You can attempt to explain and say, hey, we do great things, so on and so forth, but everything that has come out of your mouth, or what they've seen from Shaq in the webinar, or what they've seen from Samir in the orientation, all of that in their mind until they go on an appointment is all theory. None of it is reality until they actually get on the appointment. And once they get on the appointment, they're going to start to realize things. They're going to see the questions that we asked throughout the presentation. Be like, oh, that's not too bad. You just went through some information. You asked a couple questions. They answered, right? Sometimes trainees get a little nervous about the questions that the clients are going to ask. And so once they see, they're like, oh, well, you had a slide for that. You had an answer for that. And even if I don't have an answer, they get to see how you say, oh, I don't have that answer for you, but I have my resources. I can definitely get back to you on it, right? So they get to see all those situations. They start to learn our concepts and also start to create the passion and hopefully become a crusader for what we're doing for families. Once people start to understand the concepts, buy term, invest the difference, trash value sucks. You have to have private coverage, not only through your job. Learning about mutual funds, investing, compound interest, the rule of 72, all of those concepts, then I mean, hopefully most people want those things in their lives, right? And when you get on appointments, you see that over and over and over, and it's going to become internalized for the trainee and also for yourself, right? And then I think one of the really cool things is that we've put, as a hierarchy, we've put so much work into our presentation that it guides people to help the client to the close, right? As long as you get good at the presentation and you follow the steps through the presentation and you ask the right questions, the trainee and yourself will become more confident in learning that, okay, hey, as long as I can get through this process, I can help the client move forward. And you always got to remember, as long as the client is responsible, they care about their family, and they have some type of intelligence, they'll hopefully move forward, right? If any of those things are out of the ordinary, then maybe they might be a brick and they may not get it. That happens sometimes too, right? But hey, these are the things that are awesome. And then you become a great field trainer. So the only way to do that, to be honest, is by getting on more appointments. At the beginning, we're not all great. Not everybody is going to be good. Sorry, everyone please stay muted. So with that, everyone's not good. Like you hear Jen, you hear myself, you hear your trainers, your uplines, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're amazing. Hey, it took a lot of appointments to get to that point. Like I was telling you guys, we just started doing emergency contact. I did that with Sammy yesterday. We had 2 emergency contact appointments, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I don't know, how's this gonna go? I haven't done this in a really long time. And so we still get nervous too, but the fact that you do it over and over and over, that's how you're gonna get better. And then take your teammates out. That's fun. Obviously, you can have solo appointments, but the best appointments is when somebody else is watching you. You got to always keep that in the back of your mind. If you're looking to build a business here, you need to have other people watching, because that's when the duplication really comes into effect, and where you can start developing people and seeing that, hey, people can become independent, and then people can transition to becoming a field trainer. And then last but not least, remember to have fun. This business here, when people join us, this is something that's you guys are a volunteer army. You guys don't have a boss here. There's not somebody cracking a whip saying, hey, this is what you have to do. This is how many hours you have to work, so on and so forth. Have fun. This business is supposed to be fun. Laugh sometimes. It may not be great and rainbows all the time, but have fun with your teammates and your recruits after the presentation, follow up, things like that. So those are just some of the things that was kind of on my mind, mindset wise, but setting appointments is critical, extremely, extremely critical to your business.